Today I'm bringing you 3 different things you can mend at home, even if you're a beginner. A tear on a jacket doesn't have to be the end of it. Customizing a sweatshirt to put a pocket on is something we might like to do. And of course, the classic problem of hemming jeans and wanting to have the original hem. It's things that we might encounter in our everyday life, and if we know how to use the sewing machine, we can mend all of this. I'm going to start with the jacket, which has a tear right on the side seam, on the left side seam here, so it's going to be fairly easy to fix because I can just fold the fabric inside and top stitch it. Why top stitch it? Why don't I go on the inside? I could open the inside seam, but it is quilted. It has inside wadding, you can see here, so getting rid of all of this is going to be more of a hassle than just doing so. And then it's hemmed with this sort of cuff material, which is a pity just to open for this. So a side seam, top stitch, sorry, is not going to be ugly and is going to do the job. One thing that is going to be seen is this one here, which is just the way it is. I have to mend it on the outside as well. Oh, wait, I have an idea. So instead of top stitching the little one, which is going to be really ugly, I'm going to access through the inside from the bigger rib, which is going to be just ideal. So I can stitch it on the inside. It's going to be seen as a crease, really, but not as a whole thing mended on top. And then I'll mend the other one. That's so good, because things like this there's no theory. You just have to see yourself in the situation of having the garment on the table and thinking how to do it. And it's not common that you're going to have 2 ribs next to each other, so you can access one from the inside of the other. So it's just having patience and being open to what you can do. The small tee, I'm going to sew it a bit longer than what the tear is. So I'm going to start a bit up, so it is like a sort of dart in the end. And then what is the tear, I'm going to zigzag stitch so it doesn't rip any more. And it's going to look just like a dart from the outside. And for the big tee, I'm going to open the seam a little bit more. It's just on the side seam. And that way I can get rid of all the excess rib it has and all the excess threads around the fraying, and then I can fold, pin and sew it on top. I'm so happy about both of them. When I first saw it, I thought, well, I can mend it, but it's going to be visible. I thought I will have to zigzag stitch on top, but it looks so good. Both of them are right underneath the arm, so they aren't as visible anyways, but this one, the small one, just looks like a dart. You can't really see it. And then the big one, because it was right on the side seam, the top stitching just makes it unnoticeable completely. So it looks really good. I'm so happy with them both. I'm really happy, and I always say that you learn a lot from all this little mending until you have something on the table and you have to just drain your mind with ideas on how to fix it. You learn so much. It's amazing. I'm so happy with them both. If you suffer from cold hands, it's ideal to have pockets, and because this sweatshirt hasn't got any, I suggested my friend to make a kangaroo sort of pocket. It's really useful, it's easy to do, and I have this bit of leg from sweatpants, and it's just an ideal fabric to work with because it's the same. What happens if I don't have something like this? You can add any fabric really, as long as it matches texture like this or colors, and it's something warm. So anything fleecy or nice and cozy will be okay. I'm a bit tight on fabric, so I'm going to just try my best to do what I can. And it's going to measure around 22 wide and 30 at the bottom and 20 or less, 16 maybe, high. So the thing is that I had a look on the internet and it tells you more or less what you should measure, and they are much wider than mine, but you'll have to work with the fabric you have and try your best. So have a look and decide. What I need to do first is to hem the two sides with a simple hem folding just once. And after making sure it's centered on the sweatshirt, I'm going to hem the top and bottom with a top stitch. It's easier to do the top than the bottom because I have all the sweatshirt hemming as well. So I'm going to try to avoid the seam of this and try to sew on top of it. Not on top, above it. And this is how it's looking. I think it looks quite cool. It's really useful. It's a really useful mending or upcycling or just, I don't know, personalizing project, and it's ideal for things that you don't use that much because it's lacking something. So just try. Next one. And the next one I have is hemming a pair of jeans in which you want to keep the original hem. So it's not difficult, you have to measure yourself quite well, and so they look okay, and then just sew right above the hem, so when you fold it back again to the right side, it's there. You don't cut it or anything. In this case, I'm lucky because what I have to do is just really narrow, and it is just the width of the original hem, but you have to take into account that centimeter or centimeter and a half of that original hem. For example, if you're going to cut 10 centimeters, you will need to make sure of the width of the original hem because it's going to come down again. So you have to make sure you take off that extra centimeter before hemming the new one. And one thing I always do is for this kind of things, when I have a step or something that bothers my presser foot, is to use the zip one, because it's just like that. You're going to sew on the side of it, so you have no step, you have no unbalancing or anything weird that can mess up your sewing. So this one is really good. Try it. So I'm going to just sew all around the leg of the trousers, making sure that the side seams are level so it looks nice, and being careful because there's going to be really thick bits to sew, but with a thicker needle we should be fine. And once we've done this, we're supposed to cut the excess fabric. The thing is that it's a very delicate area because it's going to have loads of friction. You're walking, it's moving, and maybe the seam, it's a bit elasticated, this pair of jeans, so maybe it even frays. So I'm not going to cut it or do anything to it. I'm just going to secure the sides with some seam, some top stitching, and that's it. Just because of that, I don't want any accidents and it fraying or suffering. So just like that, we make sure that the seam is secure. Let me cut a bit of thread because I'll forget. That the seam is secure and it won't move. And very important, we'll need to press it so it settles. I really like it. I'm in love with it. You can't really tell you've done anything to it, so it's really good. Let me know if you've done it. Well, I'm extremely happy about the three of them. Look at them. It's really good. It's amazing, and it's really rewarding mending stuff because you're giving it a second life just with some little seam. And it's nothing really. Maybe it takes more time to think about what you have to do than doing it. It's really good. So let me know if you like doing them, if you don't, and what mending you need to do and how are you going to tackle it. And I'll see you around. Bye.